All right, let's jump straight into it. Today's explainer is covering a text that is, quite frankly, going to shatter how you perceive reality and the flow of time itself. We're diving into a deeply fascinating concept called the Chronos-Logic. Now, if you've ever had that creeping feeling that you're stuck in a loop, or maybe you're living the exact same day over and over again and just can't figure out how to break out, well, this source material is going to hit incredibly close to home.
We are plunging right into the deep end here because this text does not mess around. It actively breaks the fourth wall right out of the gate, directly challenging you. Are you reading this or being read? Are you watching this or being watched? It's asking us to really think, are we just passively consuming this information, or are we literally part of the pattern? It introduces this wild, mind-bending idea that consciousness is basically a strange loop, a pattern actively observing a pattern.
Section 1. The Time Loop Paradox. Let's start with the protagonist, Marcus Trent, and how he gets completely trapped in what the text calls the triangulation of time.
So Marcus thinks he's finding this mysterious, titleless book in the library for the very first time. You know, that spark of brand new discovery? He feels that. But the truth is, his body, the chair he's sitting in, the entire universe around him, it's all repeating. It's Tuesday, and the text bluntly drops the bomb that this is the 14th time he has lived this exact moment. Same spot, same book, same words. And it all anchors back to this incredibly specific moment, 3:47. That happens to be the exact time his father died. Now, on his deathbed, his father made Marcus promise to become a lawyer, which is a path Marcus secretly despised. That massive contradiction, wanting to honor a dying parent's wish versus honoring his own true self, completely froze Marcus in trauma. His consciousness subconsciously built this looping pocket universe just to avoid resolving the paradox. So he's stuck in a holding pattern, repeating the same days just so he doesn't have to make an impossible choice.
Moving to Section 2, 3 Forces of Time. To really grasp how Marcus is trapped, we need to understand how this text defines the competing forces of time itself. First up, we have Chronos. This is linear time. The text calls it the lie you believe because you literally can't survive everyday life without it. It's personified by a character named Chris, a clockmaker. Basically, Chronos is the relentless, ticking sequence of cause and effect. It's that unrelenting, straight path forward that forces us to make choices, slamming doors shut behind us forever. But then we have Kairos. Kairos radically disrupts that straight line. It's qualitative time, the opportune moment. The text personifies this as a violinist playing just 4 perfect notes in a crowded subway station, arriving at the exact second a listener is finally ready to change their life. So Kairos isn't about ticking seconds. It's the now that feels completely eternal, the kind of moment that alters your entire trajectory in a single heartbeat.
And finally, there's Aion, cyclical time. This is the force that makes Chronos and Kairos paradoxically exist together. It's represented by an ageless librarian. Think of Aion like a snake eating its own tail. It is the vast, eternal loop that contains you, preserving your unresolved paradoxes in a cycle until you're actually ready to face them.
Section 3, the strange metaloop. Because as Marcus keeps reading, the text zooms way, way out, showing how consciousness constantly observes itself across different dimensions. This creates a ridiculously fascinating, tangled hierarchy. We start seeing real-world authors and the literal margins of the page realizing they are trapped in the same loop. We run into Jorge, a blind librarian endlessly searching an infinite library. We see the real-life author Philip K. We have sentient footnotes waking up, and even a narrator who breaks down and confesses, hey, I actually don't know how this story ends. And yes, the legendary sci-fi author Philip K. Dick literally enters the narrative here to deliver this intensely paranoid revelation. He talks about receiving these pink laser visions beamed right into his mind, telling him that our linear history is a counterfeit reality, an illusion projected to keep us blind to our own temporal imprisonment. And his whole point is that the only way out is to wake up from inside the loop. But honestly, my absolute favorite part is the footnotes. I mean, the text gives a literal, sentient voice to a footnote on page 127. It perfectly captures this absurd existential horror of being stuck in the margins. The footnote wakes up, realizes they can only ever watch the loop but never actually join the main story, and then starts organizing a tiny textual rebellion in the margins. It's such a brilliant, playful way of showing the background details fighting for the spotlight.
Which leads us to Section 4, Amor Fati, Loving Fate. So how do Marcus, the authors, these rebellious footnotes, and maybe even us actually escape this trap?
The text ties all this together with the concept of amor fati. You have to actively choose and deeply love the exact fate you're stuck in. We're not talking about passive resignation here. It's about actively willing the contradiction, saying yes to your life so completely that you would happily repeat the whole shebang for all eternity. Because it really boils down to two choices. On the left, you can suffer the loop passively. You can view your repeating patterns as a prison you're trapped in, against your will. Or, on the right, you view the loop as a practice. By actually loving the repetition until it turns into something profound, you spiral upward. You stop being a helpless character and essentially become the author of the loop. Section 5. You are the author. This is the climax of our explainer, the realization that to survive the system, you literally have to author it from the inside out. So Marcus finally breaks his paralysis. He stops running. He goes right back to that anchor point, his father's deathbed at 347. He stands there, completely witnesses young Marcus making that impossible promise, and instead of fighting it, he just says yes to all of it. He wills the contradiction into existence. And the very moment he accepts it, the clock finally ticks from 347 to 348. He says, I am the Chronos-Logic made flesh. Marcus merges completely with Chronos, Kairos, and Aion, becoming the true fourth force, which is love. Amor is the hidden variable that flawlessly connects the straight line, the opportune moments, and the eternal return. And right here, the text rapidly collapses whatever distance was left between the characters, the authors, and you. It speaks directly to you. You are not trapped in time. The ultimate secret is laid bare. You are time, temporarily experiencing itself as separate. We are just patterns of love trying to understand ourselves through eternal recurrence. We are the universe acting out its own story until we finally learn to love it. So as you head back into your own daily loops, your own habits, your own tough choices, I'll leave you with this. If the universe is a book reading itself, what happens when you decide to write the next iteration? Are you just playing a character in someone else's script? Or are you finally ready to author your fate?